Happy National Farmworkers Awareness Week! We want to kickstart this week by giving you a snapshot history of migrant farm workers in the United States, specifically focusing on the Bracero program and its impacts on the conditions of modern farm workers.
During World War I, the first unofficial Braceros program began, what the Mexican government didn't approve. A lot of the Mexican workers came back in debt from farmer-owned stores rather than with savings, so it wasn't meant for them to succeed. But in 1924, the US government set up the first border patrol. It didn't do much, and actually from the 1920s to the 1930s, Mexican migrants tripled. Some of them were here to stay. Once the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl hit in the 1930s, Mexicans, including American-born citizens, were repatriated to Mexico. This was to make room for American migrant workers. From 1930 to 1934, as many as 300 to 400,000 Mexicans and Mexican Americans were sent to Mexico.
During World War II, in August 1942, the United States implemented a new program where they issued millions of temporary work visas to Mexicans. This became known as the Bracero program. Through this program, the United States was able to fill labor shortages in food production and still be able to underpay their workers. The Bracero program was advertised to Mexicans as a way for them to come to the United States through legal hires and pursue the American dream. What they were not told, however, were the long working hours they would be performing on a daily basis, the constant dangers within their job, including exposure to pesticides, and the unlivably low wages that they would be receiving for all of this hard work. The Bracero program ended in 1964, when there were many accusations of inhumane treatment toward the workers. However, the idea of maintaining cheap farm worker labor persisted as farmers relied on keeping wages low for their own capitalist gain.
So why is it important that we talk about the history of the Bracero program, and how is that history even relevant to National Farm Workers Awareness Week? Studying the history of the Bracero program is essential because traces of the poor conditions that migrant farm workers faced in the Bracero program are still very much present in today's H-2A guest worker program. Each year, thousands of migrant farm workers enter the United States through the H-2A guest worker program to spend a few months harvesting crops on U.S. soil. Much like during the Bracero program, these migrant farm workers have often paid significant sums to both recruiters and government agencies in order to secure jobs, visas, and transportation. This often puts them at a massive disadvantage before they even reach U.S. soil. Building off the Bracero program, the H-2A guest worker program offers migrant farm workers sanitary housing, access to health care, round-trip transportation, as well as the prevailing wage for both the job that they're doing as well as the crop. But the conditions of these resources are often pretty unethical. Housing conditions are unsanitary and overcrowded. Healthcare is pretty much impossible for these migrant farm workers to access due to the hours that their employers put in place, and wages are often a lot lower than what was advertised.
There is a long history of migrant farm work in the United States and across the world. Throughout this week, check back to find out more about how you can participate in advocacy and to bring a voice to a problem that has existed for generations.